We've returned to the Queen's Pier in Ramsey. Over the years I've done many different interviews about what's going to happen to this amazing site, of course, which greets everyone as you come into Ramsey. It's had, to say the least, a checkered career. Tom is now the latest man to take the mantle.
Yes.
With an interesting idea. I must admit, it's always been one that's gone through my head. Like, if you just buy or do a little bit at a time and work on it.
Yes.
And tell us more about this plan.
Well, the whole point about the pier is that it is duplicated. There's 55 lengths of 40 metres that are duplicated.
Oh, right.
So once you've done one 40 by 20 refurbishment, you just have to go along and do the next one and say, oh, well, yes, this is more of the same. And what we're finding is, and we haven't done the survey properly yet, but what we're going to do is to survey the underside of the pier all the way to the end. And we're going to go out by boat to do this. And we're going to have a camera, just like your cameras here. And we're going to record which bay we're in by putting the number on the film. And then be able to record forever what the state of the pier was before we decided to work on it. And so there's a record there for everybody, the public, the government, everybody to see what we're doing.
Okay, now you've got sort of the cooperation of the government, I understand. That they come up with an idea, they'll give you a nice little lease on this and you can have a go at doing what you want to do.
Yes, that's
but
true.
It's never quite that simple, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. Well, I'm working with people that have got experience in steel. And we are going to be able to look on the underside with our vehicle called Elsie. Elsie is a floating aluminium frame which will float underneath each particular 40 foot, and then we winch it up to the right height for working on the underside and lock it in so that anybody age 4 can work on this pier because it will be that safe. Right. And so it is a question of being able to get them to agree to the standards that we're going to create. Normally they have turnkey operations and spend £1.7 million getting things done. This is going to be a lot cheaper because we do believe that it's not necessary to spend all that money.
What do you want to make of it in the long run? Do you want to return it to its Victorian splendour? Will it be having a train going down it? Will it have amusements at the end or a theatre or what?
Well, all those things, believe it or not. Yeah. Because one of the things that I've asked for, and I wouldn't agree to do any of it unless I have this area that goes down to the road here. We're going to call it our compound for changing out bits on the pier to start with, but eventually we are going to put in planning permission to take down what I call unkindly the air raid shelter, and we are going to have a complex dance floor. I don't suppose you're old enough to remember the Majestic.
Yeah, of course I am.
You can remember it. Well, you know, I told the sixth form about this at Ramsey Grammar School when I gave them a presentation. I had 50 of them jumping up in the air and throwing bits of paper about. They think it'd be absolutely fantastic. And I plan to bring the Majestic back to here.
What timescale are you setting on? I mean, when do you think the first bit will be open, for instance?
Well, it'll take a year for us to collect enough money, all right, to be able to start doing anything. Because what we're doing is quite expensive. We are going to have £10,000 worth of tooling. We're going to have sandblasting and a sandblasting equipment to be able to do that. And so in order to save up the money from the public, because that's what we're going to be, a charity that is, you know, publicly funded from private enterprise, we're going to be called ourselves the Queen's Pier Restoration Trust. And we are going to raise money and show people how much each item costs and say, we need that next. You understand? And we slowly manage to get the pieces together.
Bit by bit, little by little.
That's right, because we are not sort of turnkey with the government dishing out millions of pounds for somebody to do it.
The one thing that strikes me, and I lived in Ramsey a long, long time, is that, I mean, this thing is going to absolutely us all, because, I mean, boats have hit it, people have done things to it.
Yes.
It seems to be pretty substantial, even though obviously you need to check on
Oh,
it.
it's
but
beautiful.
yeah.
It's a beautiful pier, beautifully designed, beautifully made, and it has stood the test of time. You know, when you go down to Dawlish a few years ago, the sea broke up the whole of the railway lines and everything down to the southwest. When I came back off a cruise and came and saw this pier, it had not been touched. It is a very fortunate terrain it lives in, with the direction of the winds.
By the way, have you kept all the stuff that was taken off it, the railings? I mean, I know I say you haven't, but the government kept it. Have you seen it, shall I say?
I have seen it.
Is it all right?
I don't know, it's all padlocked up.
Oh.
I have seen the crates in Derby. I've touched the padlocks.
So it is all still there?
It is all still there, but I don't know whether we can use it all. I don't know whether you understand that the railing that we're leaning on here is not up to British standard.
Oh.
If you go to the lemon squeezer down in Douglas, you know, I call it a lemon squeezer, and you go out of the sliding doors, you get a barrier in front of you that stops you getting to your car. Have a look at that. It is higher.
Oh, so
And
health and safety, you got a bit of to say in this one.
Yes, that's right. So
Okay.
we might have to change the height of this.
Okay. Well, look, we'll leave it for now, but it's fascinating. If people want to get in touch with you, have you got a website? Can get
We haven't got a website yet even,
Right.
because the trust has not been set up properly. I don't have a bank account.
Okay.
People can't give me money yet because we have to negotiate with the government that they recognise the trust,
Yes.
and that we are capable of doing it. And they're not sure whether we are.
I hear this, but then
But
you hear
you
we're going to have a go for government now, aren't we? They keep telling us that. So
Yeah, the whole thing is, I've worked with the Royal Marines.
Yeah.
I've worked in engineering with, mobile boats going out and one thing and another. I've worked, in many different roles. I'm rather an old gentleman now, and I have a lot of experience of different things. I'm a visionary, and that's going to be very useful, and I'm working with people who understand steel. We're going to have sonic testing of every piece of metal. Will be tested to see how thick it is,
Well,
and whether we have to change it out or
you
not.
let us know how you get on with the government and
Yes.
how it all goes, okay?
Yes.
So we'd like to come back here on a regular basis and update
yeah,
it.
absolutely, because I'd love to be able to have the Elsie, as we call her, underneath there, lifted up, winched up, and allow the public to come down and see what we're doing.